Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's facts. Only I can make a change. Slowly take a step today. I will never be the same. Cause that's what it takes.
What is going on, fam? Welcome back to another episode. My name is TradeFly. I'm going to be your host today, bringing you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use. We have some positive momentum in the market today. That is super exciting to see, and we are going to get to the charts and we are going to show you where can we go from here, because that is always the big question. But today is a special day. I got one of my homies on the show with me. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on up. None other than Blockchain Crusader.
What's going on, man?
Hey, what is up, my dude? How are you? Thank you for being on the show today. Much appreciated.
No problem. I'm super excited to be here, man. Hang out, talk some TA, see what these markets are finally starting to move. September is looking like a very interesting month, dude. So yeah, definitely fun to hang out.
It is, and it's getting towards the middle of the month. I've been telling people, I'm giving the warning shots. I was like, hey, we did this last year and we did this the year before. Right towards about the middle of September is actually when we started seeing a turnaround in the market. In October and November, the last 2 years have actually been pretty bullish. So if we get through some key levels, it could be off to the races. I'm kind of excited. What do you think about that, man?
Yeah, man, 100%, right? Like last year, September was the fourth green September we've ever seen, right? We're currently green right now. We're up like 3.9% in September so far. We're expecting a red September, but we might actually be getting another green September again. Like you said, quarter four usually has returns around 20 to 46% between October and November. So fourth quarter, man, is seeming to be bullish, and with the interest rate cut potentially on the cards here, coming up, I think that could be the fuel to really push this catalyst to the moon.
Absolutely. We only got one song for that. I had to, man. I had to. All right. Let's go ahead and get over to the chat. Say what's up to all the homies in there. That is what I love doing. Of course, we got the best mod in all the spaces, Alexandra G in the house. What up, lady? Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do for everyone. Jesse, good look. How you doing, brother? Thank you for being in the chat as well. We got Harp in there. My dude, he said lurking and working. Let's get it, bro. Love seeing him, man. Like, he's one of the dudes, man. Like, we actually sat down. We spent some time together in the Discord, and I was like, hey, man, let's try some things, man. Let's tighten this up a little bit. And he's taken it to heart, and like he's accepted the challenge. He calls it the TradeFly challenge, and it's really cool to see, man, because he's dropping some positive P&Ls, and that's what this is all about, man. So love seeing it. We got our dude Darren Does Things in here, DDT. He says short this Ponzi, my dude. he's always joking in here. Love to see it though. Thanks for being in here, brother. Much appreciated. All set in the house. What up to you? Good to see you. Hope you're having a great day. Background music is too loud in my opinion. Okay. All right. Is it too loud? Is it too loud? I brought it down to 20. Are you saying to lower it some more? Let me know in the chat. I'll try to look for it. If anyone else has any feelings on that, just let me know. Melissa, hello, how are you? Let's see, make sure I don't miss anyone here. Scrolling down. Melissa says up. Up for the music or up for the price? Let me know. Let me know if the music is too loud, guys, and I will adjust that. All right, keeping it going. How you doing? Keep it moving. You know how we roll. All right, my man, Blockchain Crusader. For those that are just tuning in for the first time or that are new around here, Tell them a little about yourself, who you are, what you do, and I will actually bring up your YouTube while you're kind of going through that.
Appreciate that, brother. So yeah, man, I've been around the space for a while. I've been in crypto since 2017. Had another channel with Crypto Keeper back in the day called Debate Crypto, which was then later rebranded to like Crypto Wars. We did the Trading Wars show on that channel for a while. Broke away from that, went on my own, started to do my own thing, and then just started up my own channel, Blockchain Crusader, and just been running it by myself this whole time. And then now I just have, just focused on trading full time and making content about crypto full time.
Right on, man. Cool. Let me, so it's not, I have your screen up, but I forgot, like if I go to you, it goes to your screen, not my screen. So let me flash that real quick just so everybody can see. This is his YouTube channel. That's at Blockchain Crusader. So go check him out, show him some love. Obviously I'm subbed. You know how I roll. That's my dude. But also you can find him on X. And I believe that is also a Blockchain Crusader, but if not, just go down to the description down below. I have his socials in there so you can check him out as well. So that being said, what I'm gonna do, man, I'm gonna go through a couple of the usual things real quick here. I'm gonna go through the economic calendar, the bubbles, and a little bit of the top-down stuff, and then we'll go over to what we call the daily degen. So be a couple things we're gonna knock out real quick, and then we're gonna get it back over to you, man, because you were the focus of the day, man. We're going to put you on the hot seat and let you show the peeps some of the TA, man. Super excited about that. But let's go ahead and kick this off. Here we go over to the economic calendar. I'm going to go ahead and sound the siren. We got Mr. Elmer Fudd in the house, but actually today's data, not too bad. PPI month over month is negative 0.1%. That is actually below consensus and below forecast, but it's tomorrow. The reason I sound the siren is for tomorrow. You guys got to keep your eyes on everything tomorrow. Tune into Piper because this goes at 5:30 a.m. my time, so 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got core inflation rate, you got inflation rate month over month and year over year. Okay, so there's some data tomorrow that could shake the market a little bit, but maybe is it getting front run? Is this people knowing what's coming, and are we seeing that positive movement today? I don't know if that's going to be based on PPI. I got to be honest with you. All right, so here nor there, let's go over the crypto bubbles, and you know what it's going to be. It is going to be a sea of green out there. It's looking good, and I love seeing it. What do we got? AVAX, 11.9%. I've been telling y'all. I've been telling you, man. It's solid. It's undervalued. It is undervalued in my personal, humble opinion for what that's worth. Manual 16.9%. Pump.fun is up 17.9%. Everything else just green. Let's see. Big losers. We've got MYX down 11.2% and IP down 7.7%. Let's go over to the total market cap. That is sitting at 3.95 trillion. That is up 2.48%. You guys know that we were at a key level. We've been talking about it quite a bit. Bitcoin dominance at 57.5%. That is the same as yesterday. Fear and greed index is at 43. That is neutral. Bitcoin itself, 113,985. That is up 2.59% over the last 24 hours. And Ethereum is holding strong above 4,300. That's at 4,393 at 2.35%. Now, let's go over to the part that you guys love the most. We got 11 votes in right now. It looks like you guys are 55% doom. You're calling for a little bit of pullback during the show. Okay, that is a rare occurrence. Let's go ahead and get this popping. All right, here we go. We got Fartcoin up, and it looks like you guys, again, are 55% doom. You know how we roll. We're going to put a 20x play on this. We're not really doing much TA on it. You guys just think it's going to go down here in the next 4 to 5 minutes. All right, so 5 on it. We got 20x leverage, and of course, I would not typically enter a trade like this. Okay, we all are clear on that. Bitunix, no fees. Thank you very much. That's how they roll. They take care of me, and I appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and move the TP up here. What do you say? That is a nice little spot there, and that would be at about a 20% move. I think I would take that, and I think that's realistic. That could happen in the next few minutes. Should be lower. Oh, that's right. You guys, did we just take a short or did I long that thing? I'm so used. I did take a short. All right, thank God. Here we go. Down here, you see this horizontal level again. Not really doing much TP or not technical analysis, but at least let's do things that make sense, right? Let's take profits and stop losses. That way we can walk away from this thing and not worry about getting too crazy upside down. You don't want to get liquidated live. That's a bad look, I'll say. Here we go. So it's in there. You guys are starting off down 2.27% on a short. Moving on over, let's go ahead and look at, you know what? I'll look at the liquidation heat map, but then I'm going to get straight in to pulling up our guy, Blockchain Crusader. All right, so liquidity. Where are we looking at some leverage positions at that'll get touching all the wrong places? That is about 110.5. We got a ways to go to get down there where you see kind of that bulk of liquidity sitting. Again, that's at 110.5. And then you do have kind of a block of liquidity to the upside. Now, it's not as strong, but there's a nice area of liquidity, right? Like if you're looking at it, that's a pretty thick wall going all the way from 114.4 all the way up to about 116.7. So a nice little $2,000 spread there of some liquidity that is ripe for the taking. But here nor there, right now price action is sitting right under 114. So that is the liquidity that's closest to the boat, the alligator closest to the boat, but we'll call it the liquidity. But yeah, so that's what you're looking at on the liquidation heat map. I got that marked in my chart, but I'm not going to go top down yet on you because I'm going to bring our guy Blockchain Crusader back up and I'm going to let him start the day off with some TA. So brother, it's the time to shine. It's over to you. Let's get it.
All right. What do you want to cover first?
Totally up to you, man. If you want to do top down, if you want to just pull up some altcoins, whatever it is you're looking at, whatever it is your heart desires, we can take
a quick look at Bitcoin, and then from Bitcoin we can figure out where ETH and Solana are potentially going, because Solana's been a very strong rip to the upside. But yeah, so I pulled up Bitcoin here. So far, overall, quick little recap from the Asia and London trading sessions. Right, last night we came all the way down to our monthly VWAP here, this yellow line. We had a strong bounce off of that, got back above our daily VWAP and weekly, and just rotated the range from the previous day, hitting our daily MPOC of 112. And then earlier today, this morning, right, coming into the New York session with the PPI data coming out, we actually ran up to the previous week high, which is this red dotted line, and the previous day high, which is this yellow dotted line. And we swept this area, which is normally a short. And I actually did take a short here, right? We came down and hit this Monday high, but quickly got invalidated, got back above the previous week high. I had to close out my short at a break-even point, and then quickly flipped over to long, right? So once we started to hold above the previous week high, the targets to the upside above it are the ones that we've been looking at. We're currently within the August range right now, and those targets were the weekly average of 113,885 to 115 to the upside right before we meet the quarterly VWAP up at 115. So we ran it so far all the way up to as high as 114.2, hit this 0.5 fib here, closed out my long for the day. I didn't want to hold on to this thing all day long. And then now we've just kind of been retesting this uptrend that we're currently in. This uptrend is the trend from the Asia and London trading sessions. So we kind of just retested it here. Hopefully we can continue to hold it and go up towards this TP2 and TP3 area. But this is really what I'm targeting for September, 115, right? If we can get above 115 and this quarterly VWAP of 115.2, then we have a larger set of targets to the upside, which take us up between 117 to 120, right? So another cluster of targets all up here, which is at the value area high for the August range. And then from there, we could be hitting potentially new all-time highs. And we'll see if the interest rate cut, leads to this or not. On the other hand, Solana has been a great one to be following, right? Solana here, let this load in real quick. Did the music just die? Okay, just restarted. Okay, cool. So Solana's been in a very nice uptrend since the beginning of quarter two in April. Very nice uptrend overall. We've been fighting the upper band of this uptrend for the last month here in August and into September, trying to get above 200, slowly breaking above it. We just had the potential breakout today, breaking out of this uptrend into a steeper uptrend, hitting our gold pocket of 225. So our future target here for Solana, if we continue to rally with Bitcoin, are 235 to 247 in the short term. And then the mid to long term is running for that all-time high of 295. I wouldn't be concerned about Solana having any major crash or correction unless we start losing 185. We could start coming back down to this yearly VWAP around the 169 to 154 where we have a full pocket. But outside of that, I think that Solana is going to continue hugging this heart line, hugging this uptrend, and riding this thing up towards the all-time highs. Meanwhile, Bitcoin continues to rally. Unless Bitcoin has some type of major pullback, major drop of some kind, I do believe Solana is going to be breaking all-time highs here in the next month or so.
Right on, man. So let's see here. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring up Bitcoin, do a little bit of top down from my perspective as well. And then I'll take a look at Solana. So we'll kind of do a little bit of a dueling TA. That was some nice clear Gatorade there. It was with the chroma key, but cool. Let's go ahead. We'll look at Bitcoin real quick and then we'll get back to you. Bitcoin and then Solana. All right. So check it out. This is key right now. Man, I got a little hair in my mind. That's craziness. All right, this is key. So looking at the price action right now, we talked about this area. We loved it because you had the POC, you had the golden pocket, and you had the dynamic reactor. And I got something for y'all today. You know me, man. I like to nerd out every once in a while. And I realized that I had the dynamic reactor up as a solo indicator, and then I was using the moving average shift, and I was like, I got limited slots, right? I got five. Let me teach y'all something real quick before I get too far into this dynamic reactor. So if you would like something that marries up with the dynamic reactor, simply use your moving average. If you like moving averages, this is only effective if you like moving averages, if you use those. But here's the setup. Don't tell me I didn't give you any alpha today. All right. Now, if you like moving averages, here's what I got. I got 2150, 200. I like the SMAs. However, if you like the dynamic reactor, I got something. All right. Set it up EMA, HLCC divided by 4. Select that. And then 128. All right. 128 is going to be your setting there and whatever color you want. That mirrors the dynamic reactor. So that's what I was doing on the moving average shift, and I didn't even think about it. I was like, I could just do this and save myself a slot. So I get an extra slot because I like having the moving averages. I can save myself a slot and I can just do that. And now in purple, what do you see? Dynamic reactor. If you guys got ChartPrime, go ahead, fact check me. You will see it overlays perfectly. So there you go. All right, back to some top-down analysis. Structure looks pretty good for Bitcoin. Even though we lost this trend line, and I said it's not that big a deal, coming back to the golden pocket, coming back to, you know, the dynamic reactor here, as well as the POC, not a big deal. Not a big deal. That is where we would have liked to see support. Now, we were looking for the potential of a breakout retest, continuation to the downside. It was something we were looking for. It has not played out, obviously, but here nor there. Mark that on your charts. Regardless, I do want you to mark about 101 on your charts for Bitcoin, only because I think around 100.5 is going to be a nice little entry for a long position. That would bring us down, take out this liquidity, and then we just got so much lining up right now in terms of getting into a nice little swing trade for Bitcoin. I think that opportunity is still there. You got the order block, you got the demand zone. I mean, they're just way too much in terms of confluence lining up in that area. But here nor there. What are we looking at right now? Time meow. All right, you're looking at the opportunity for a change of character. All right, so what we need to do, and I talked about this yesterday, and I was like, not yesterday, I'm sorry, Monday. I talked about this Monday. It's like we have the monthly pivot, all right? That was acting as resistance. Look, you got a few rejection out of that area, but what was my concern? Remember, my concern was as soon as you break that monthly pivot, you're running straight into resistance. And that is why I was hesitant on taking a long. And you can see very clear rejection. Now, it rejected from about the 0.382. Understand this is from a fib retracement level. So not super applicable in terms of saying this is the line in the sand of where we should have saw the rejection, but it just happens to be on the chart in the same place. But you do have the 50 SMA. That is what this blue line is. The 50 SMA, you do have the value area low of the previous range, and that acts as resistance. All right, so that we have to get through. Now, with that, you also do kind of have the fib retracement from the opposite, right? So you're taking it from the high to the low, and from the high to the low, you're also running into the 0.5 fib retracement level, again, directly over top where I was looking at resistance being. Okay, so that's, you know, of concern. So what you want to see is us break through. This is what we're likely to see. You'll probably work your way up. If it breaks, it's got to break, obviously. You'd probably work your way up, and then the 0.5 would act as a little bit of resistance, come back down, get a little retest of that area, and then you're looking for that continuation up to the POC. That would be the likely or logical flow of price action that I would anticipate, right? Because, you know, it's not about the breakout. It is about the retest in terms of getting into an entry, especially a long position where you're dealing with all of this resistance right here. So that is what I would be looking for. I think that there could be an opportunity if we were to break out, come back down and retest this level. Again, you'll need to see some bullish candle structure within that level or at that level, but it could be an opportunity. And what does that look like in terms of taking a measured move, not a measured move, but a move up to the POC is about 3%. Not too bad. So just under 3%, throw a little leverage on that thing, about 3x or so. And I think that would be a decent little trade. Now, that being said, that would probably be, you know, I'd probably go ahead and just scrap it there in terms of taking profit. I'd probably just close the trade. And then we just kind of wait. And then do we end up pushing past that level? Now, not only do you have the POC there, you do have the beginnings of the golden pocket, right? You got the 618 almost directly overlaid with POC as well. So I do expect some resistance. You could get another opportunity where it just comes back down and retests the area of where the 0.382 is, right? And that would be nice. But yeah, that's something I'm looking at on Bitcoin right now. So again, if-then statements always. All right, it's not about like me projecting whether we go up from here, whether we go down from here, because I'm not interested in taking a trade right here. And so you need to understand that. You're like, well, is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? I mean, that's because you're in a trade. That's why you want to know. I will say you're at resistance, and that's what I can tell you right now. But I'm not going to take a long position right here because I'm at resistance. That's silly business. All right, so that being said, you find these key levels and you start looking about how you can attack those key levels. And I think we're getting close. I mean, really, we did reject off of what I see or perceive as a key level right now. It's just like, do you get another push up? Do you get a grab of some liquidity? And do you start working back down below the 0.382 or the value area low, and you start seeing some bearish structure out of that area? Then that opens up the door for a potential short and coming back down and retesting these levels down here. So again, it's about finding these lines in the sand and how you can attack those. All right, Solana. I'm going to keep it quick on Solana. I went a little longer. than I was anticipating. Yes, we are pushing up into some levels that I think made a lot of sense. 220 to about 230, I think made a lot of sense for a lot of different reasons. But one of the main reasons is this price action. All right, looking at the price action, and what I really want you to do is look at it, and then when you look at it, say, okay, I kind of see, like, I see resistance, I see support, I see a breakout retest or kind of a, confirmation, and then continuation down, comes back up and rejects, right? So like you can see that candles are talking to you right here at that level. Now this is, we're not even looking at the current price action, right? But what we are looking at is this right here. See, this is the resistance, this is the support, this is that confirmation that this area is key. This is further confirmation, and then you get an impulsive move through it, comes back down. Where do you find support? It's like freaking magic right there at that same level. And then what? Breakout, retest, continuation of the downside. This level's key. This is a very significant, important level for Solana. Now let's go to the current price action. Here we go. And voila. Where do you get rejected? Right there. All right, so seeing a rejection there, not surprising at all. Now, one thing that Crusader said that is super, super relevant to this whole situation is Solana has diverged from the market. There's no arguing that. Solana has been bullish. It has been bullish since March, April timeframe, and it hasn't really looked back. Higher highs, higher lows. It has been a beautiful climb to the upside. It has not even come back down to some of the important moving averages, the trend line here as well. That all being said, if you do like Solana, I would not be scared of just putting a limit order. And a matter of fact, I think I did put a limit order on Solana, but no, it wasn't at that level. It was actually down here. You're probably like, you're crazy. No, I'm not crazy. Look how many times we've been here. We've been here over and over and over again, but I would not be against looking at the 180 to about 184 range. All right, I think that is a very nice spot. Now, obviously, that's going to move up as price continues to work its way up, but that could be a nice little opportunity if you miss the move to add to the bags or, to get in, right? And why do I like that area? Again, has a lot to do with horizontal price action. I'm a big, big fan of that. Just come back left on the chart. You can see it right here. Resistance, 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 impulsive move through. Support, 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 breakout, retest, continuation, and then there you go, resistance, resistance. So now it's just kind of like bouncing all around in that area, but now that it's starting to line up, you got the trend lines, you got moving averages aggressively moving up along with it. I think that might be a good spot to at least find some positive price action out of that area if it were to fall back down. Again, it's not a predictive thing. I'm not saying we must come back here. I'm saying if it does come back here, it could be an opportunity, and that is the way I like to attack this. All right, so that's what I'm looking at on Solana. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and pass it back. Let's go ahead. We get Crusader back up, man. Get to surprise him. He's probably over there playing games, drinking coffee, doing what he does. But let's go ahead and get him back up here, and let's see what you got for us, man. See if you're looking at anything that's on the charts you want to show the peeps.
Yeah, man, let's go take a look at AVAX since you mentioned it earlier in the show today. AVAX having that big move. Dude, it's about time, bro. It's about time. I mean, AVAX has just been slumming it forever, dude. Let my thing load in here real quick. So AVAX has been fighting this resistance at $26 forever, right? Forever. Got rejected back in July, got rejected in July twice, got rejected in August again. Now we're finally getting a green candle above this quarterly average that has been holding AVAX down forever. I got rejected back in May as well at the same level again. So now we're pretty much hitting the value area high for the first quarter of the year, right? Value area high of quarter one, around $28. Between this $28 to $30 area, there is a lot of support. There's been a lot of price chop all throughout 2024 at that price point. So I am expecting there to be resistance here. Once we can flip and get above this $30 mark, right? We have been in an uptrend since July for AVAX, but once we can flip above 30, my targets to the upside for AVAX are between 36 to 41 with a gold pocket, and above $41, we have a monthly untapped MPLC up at 51. above 51, which if we can get there, I'll be ecstatic if AVAX can get above $51, because it's been one of those levels where it pretty much topped out around 60 back in March of 2024. That was the really big altcoin season. But we do have legacy targets for AVAX above $50 that are between 71 all the way to the all-time high of 147. Now, I'm not super confident that we're going to reach an all-time high on AVAX. I think we've had enough time to show some real strength, and it unfortunately hasn't done it. So I think 51 to maybe 71 tops, being generous, is the best we're going to get out of AVAX in this next altcoin season. But man, I really hope that that's what we're looking for. Now, to the downside, right? If we get rejected here, we start pulling back. We do have the yearly and quarterly VWAPs down around $23.80 to about $23.35. We have a monthly average that's been holding up as support as well, around 22. Below that, we have a gold pocket down at 19, but I don't see AVAX coming down to 19 unless Bitcoin completely tops out, smashes and drops like it's hot, and the Bitcoin dominance blasts off over 60% plus and says, hey, alt season is canceled. So I don't expect AVAX to be dropping below $22 anytime soon. I think we're going to keep riding this uptrend slowly until Bitcoin can continue to push up and make some either all-time high or its next local top. And I'm really looking for this $36 to $41 here in the next month and a half to 2 months for AVAX. We're back to you right now. See you.
Right on. Let's do it. All right, man. I'm going to go through USDT dominance and total market cap, and then I'll slide on over to Ethereum. So that'll be what I got coming down the pipe, and then you can kind of work your next thing in the background here. So let's go over to USDT dominance, and that is one thing that I like to incorporate nowadays, and that actually comes from Trader Geo. So I'll give him a little bit of credit. He's someone that kind of put that on the map for me, and it is effective. And I think it's effective when it's kind of giving you those like larger moves to be like, hey, like, are we bullish or are we bearish? And it kind of gives you an idea, like, you know, it helps as confluence, I'll say. That's what I'll say. Now, with that being said, we did come up to a horizontal level of resistance, okay? And we had this trend line we've been tracking, all right? We were building some, you know, support, basically up. It was pressure to the upside. We kind of broke that trend line, all right? We broke that trend line. We knew we had resistance up here, obviously by the moving averages, obviously by the pink box that we like to talk about. Resistance from the pink box. Think about it. All right, so you got some horizontal resistance, and then you also had where we got rejected twice here before. So there was just a few things that were lining up, broke the trend line, and now it looks like it's trying. Once it breaks this 50 SMA, it looks like it is trying to make a play for the downside. Okay, and that's actually good. Remember, it is an inverse relationship between USDT dominance as well as the total market cap. And you can see it's making a play right now for the downside here. That is what we want to see. We would like to see that continuation. If we get that movement to the downside, I think it's very logical to come down to about 4.19. 4.20. You can see that was previously the golden pocket, but you can see that's where you found some support. When you got that little V shape, you came back down and retested that horizontal level, which is where we have seen support before. I do think that would be the logical area to see this move go. Why do I mention that? Why do I make note of that? Well, that's because if you are in a long position and you get down to these levels, that is where you start looking for confluence between charts. Right, so you start looking, where are you at with the total market cap? Where are you at relative to Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency you're in? You start looking at, where am I going to find resistance while you're finding an area of support for USDT dominance? Okay, so if this breaks to the downside, this is where we start looking. We start looking in this area to be like, all right, cool. Is Bitcoin up to, 120,000, whatever the case may be? Just throwing out a number. And are we finding a, very good or relevant area of resistance? And that will help you, getting in and getting out of trades, right? Could even use it inversely and be like, hey, I'm looking for a short when USDT dominance works its way down. So that is something to keep an eye on. Again, that's at about 4.2. Now, all that being said, if we start working our way to the upside, obviously the game, but now you have that resistance above you again. All right, so that's good. All right, you got this horizontal right here, you clear rejections. It tried here, but you say a little SFP there, and then you have the moving average above you. So even if we were to push back up, and that's obviously going to push prices down, there's still a glimmer of hope. You want that to hold though. All right, so you want that to hold. You don't want to see something that looks like this where it comes out, breaks out, because then your likely move is going to be to the upside for USDT dominance, and obviously the downside for Bitcoin and some of the other cryptos. Let me go ahead and get rid of that right now. Of course, it's just not cooperating. Seems like an everyday occurrence with that darn arrow there. So, all right, USDT dominance, that covers that. Total market cap, we've talked about this quite a bit as well. This is just a super relevant level. It's in my mind a key level where the 0.786 is, where this horizontal level is. There was just the trend line. There was just too much lining up in this area for total market cap. We got a nice little bounce. I would say it's certified, right? That's 3 touches on this trend line. 1, 2, 3. The expectation is that trend line is going to hold up for a little while. And again, just like USDT dominance, if you see a pullback, all right, if you start seeing it trend its way back down, you're looking at this area here, and that's at about 3.8. That would be a relevant area to see a bounce. Again, then all you do is look for confluence between the charts. You go to USDT dominance. Where you at? Are you up against the area of resistance where that SFP was? We talked about that. Do you work your way back up there? And then where's Bitcoin, right? Like, is it finding an area of support? Are we working our way down, back to some of the levels that we found support before? And that's a way that you can tie all these charts in, which is going to be just a nice way to add a little confluence to what you're seeing. All right, let's go over to Ethereum, something you guys probably care about a little bit more. You can see right now, this level is critical in my mind for short-term price action for Ethereum. Why do I say that? You can see descending level of resistance working its way down. It tried to break out, man. It did not. Okay, so you see the divergence, right? Like, Bitcoin price action is working up. Ethereum is now working down a little bit, and that's not ideal, especially when you see Bitcoin dominance has kind of moved to the downside and has maintained around 57.5 here over the last week or so. So there's definitely pressure building to the downside. I think if there's any pullback for Bitcoin, then I think Ethereum is going to lose this area of support right now. That's really where the value area low is, and that's about 4250. 4250 is a pretty key level for you guys to watch. Keep an eye on that. But if we do lose it, then what are some options for you? Well, you got a couple options, okay? So if we lose, hear me out, if we lose that, coming down, hitting the 50 SMA, and then working its way down to the 0.5, as well as this horizontal level, would make quite a bit of sense. And what does that look like in terms of a pullback? That's only about 3%, and only 3% is nice if you're doing an intraday trade. 3%, I pretty much find myself using 3 to 5x leverage a lot of times, but I would say 3x very conservative. And a 9% move on a trade is a beaut, especially if you can do that intraday. All right, so I think that is a good opportunity there. Again, you need to see that breakout retest for the continuation of the downside. Now, inversely, again, I'm very big on finding my lines in the sand, and this is certified, right? We can say it's certified because look at how many times we found support. If you see a nice wick like this, now again, you want to go to some lower time frames, don't just stay on the daily. But if you see a nice wick like this right here, this one right here, wow, that is horrendous. All right, gotta be quicker with it. Gotta be quick with it. That is showing you buying pressure, all right? But that being said, you want that wick to be down below some of these areas where you're finding support. Why is that? Why is that important? Well, because there's liquidity in those areas. So right here from this wick, basically to here, even actually a little bit higher. Let's go ahead and change the color. What are you doing now? What are you doing now? All right. Let's go ahead and change the color real quick. We'll just make it, nope. How about yellow? Yellow works. All right, so we know we have some liquidity here. There's no doubt about it. So if you see that wick come down, grab that liquidity, and then quickly reestablish the range, a couple things that are gonna happen subsequently. One, all right, you're gonna break this trend line. And then two, that liquidity is off the table, right? So then you're looking at this, right? This is so important because I think a lot of people are just like, here's your key level, figure it the F out. Good luck to you. See you later. Not here, not on this show. All right. So come down, you grab that liquidity. And then if you start seeing the price action do something like this, where it comes up, and then you come back and retest this level, that then, my friends, we are looking for a potential long. All right. So that's the difference. Candle closes down below, and then we see a retest to the downside, quite different. I wish I could do the candles. That would be great. If I could just draw candles for you, that would make all of this look so much cleaner and easier. Oh, don't want to do that. There we go. All right, we got it to work that time. And then let's go ahead and make that pink. So there you go. So you can distinguish the difference. All right, now it has a lot to do with the candles. It has a lot to do with the structure that you're seeing once you are interacting with these levels. Now, but it's going to look very different. And that's what's important, is understanding what the candles are telling you. Now, it's going to be hard for me to kind of break that down for you here live on the show. But I mean, you got to do a little bit of research. I can't give it all to you. But here nor there, that is what I'm looking for on Ethereum in the short term. Overall, it's looking great. I mean, like, Ethereum looks bullish AF. I mean, you could come down, you know, I'd say even coming down to the 618 to this demand zone is not a big deal. If you're coming down to 38 to 3,900, not a big deal at all. Still bullish, still no issues, and probably an opportunity for you to load up your bags a little bit. Even if it were to come down to the Platinum Pocket, real talk, Platinum Pocket, you got the dynamic reactor. Even then, you could just set a, I mean, you're going to have a change of character, but when it really comes down to it, as long as it's not closing below this area right here, I don't get too freaked out. But that's kind of what I'm looking at for Ethereum. Lower down, where do I have a limit order? Just a rehash on that. I know I talked about it Monday, but I do have a limit order at $2,900. And that's because we have a very clear horizontal. You got the 200 SMA, you got the range high here. If we were to come back, I mean, this is, in terms of cryptocurrencies, this is one of the clearest horizontal levels I have found on any chart anywhere. It's unbelievably clear. Look at how often and look at how substantial the moves are off of that area from 28 to 2,900. This is my level of all levels for really any chart. So that is why I have a limit order there, because at minimum, I think I'm gonna get price action at very minimum. So if I get that price action, we get a little move to the upside, getting that stop loss on up, protect myself, but that's gonna be I'm gonna be swinging for the fences in terms of getting a nice swing trade out of that one. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at on ETH. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my dude Crusader back up. Let's see what you got, homie.
What's going on, man? Yeah, I got BitTensor Tau. I don't know if you follow that one or not. One of the AI coins.
Not much. So this will be interesting for me.
Yeah, it's in the AI narrative. I think it's, you know, if the AI narrative, if altcoins are going to have an altcoin season, this thing's performed pretty well overall. It's been in a nice little uptrend here since the beginning of quarter two as well. We're a little bit of a wide, creating lower highs here since May, then July, then August. But we've been holding this support here between 304 to about 320 very, very steadily since we got back above it in April. Right, we only had that one big drop down here, leaving a monthly NPOC down at 231, which I'm interested in, but I don't think we're going to get anytime soon. And if we are going to be heading into an altcoin season here into quarter four, with Bitcoin potentially making some new highs off the interest rate cut, right, I am expecting BitTensor Tau to get back above this yearly and quarterly VWAP around 363 to 376. Once we can flip that into support, our targets to the upside for a big breakout once again is going to be this big block of resistance. We've been rejected off this area all the way since back in January of 2025, right? All of January we got rejected here, we got rejected in May, we got rejected back in July. If we can flip 480 once we get above this yearly VWAP, and 480 is going to be the next big target. Getting above that, we have a gold pocket up at 545, and then finally an untapped yearly average at 617 to the upside, where basically BitTensor Tau pretty much tapped out around this area. We came up as high as 750, but we did not have much volume above 650, 617. So if we were able to revisit this level, we could go into price discovery and make some new all-time highs for Bitunix Tau. Bitunix Tau moves very drastically when Bitcoin moves, and when the AI narrative and all coins overall were moving. So I expect the same thing to happen, but I'm really looking at this critical level here of the yearly and quarterly VWAP. If we can flip this area, 480 is definitely, I believe, is definitely in the card between 440 to 480, and then that big blast off to 617 is what I'm looking for. Just because this support here has been holding up so well since back when we got back above it on April. Yeah, that's what I got for Bitunix Tau. Back to you.
Right on, man. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I wanna take a look at that, overlay it on my chart, man. See what's going on there. All right, let me see here. Let's scroll down. I have not. Ooh, good lord, man. NASDAQ, not even worth talking about. If you guys like the NASDAQ, just mark on your charts about 20,200 or so. That's a good key level for you. I'll just show it to you just real quick right here. But right now, it's just off to the moon, man. It's off to the moon. It's not even worth doing much TA on that thing, honestly. But if it does pull back, that'd be a nice little area to add to your bags. Let's go. Let's look. We talked about Apple a little bit. Very key level of resistance, and we mentioned that as well. I think a good level for you on that guy. Look at that rejection. That is sharp, and they just released their updated iPhones, AirPods, all that stuff yesterday, and apparently people were not a fan. Anyways, if it comes down to about 214 to 216, right where the golden pocket is, nice, beautiful horizontal level. And you got, it looks like the moving averages are going to be above you at that point. But I think that's a very nice level to look at in terms of taking a position. And then if you want to ladder into that, if it continues its way down in the platinum pocket, obviously it's been following this trend for quite some time as well. I do think that would be a good opportunity. If you do get in at the 618 at the golden pocket, I wouldn't take that one up much further than where you're seeing this support right here. All right, so see the price action, see the consolidation happening right there. That would be where the fun ends for me. What does that look like in terms of Apple? If you're taking that up conservatively, about 3.5%, may not even be worth shaking at if you're in traditional stocks, because it doesn't quite work the same as perpetual futures. I think there are ways, but I'm not as familiar as that with that. I do know you can do options trading, but here or there. That is a nice level to see a bounce, and you could just see the structure keep intact and just see a nice little continuation of price action for Apple. So there you go, couple key levels there. Let's see, let's follow up on Nvidia. I think we talked about that as well. Nvidia did have a very nice bounce, so quite the inverse of Apple. Apple's coming back down, Nvidia is going up, bounced straight off the 382. Yeah, no, we love the 382 there. Actually, you know what? That looks like it's inverse. So I'm backwards right now. That is actually pulled inversely. So that's from high to low, and that would need to be updated, I believe. I see what I did. I see what I did now. Confusing myself here. So what I did is I got ahead of it. I front ran it, right? So I pulled it down to this area here to say, hey, where could we see a potential rejection if you were to take a long position here at the 382. So you do have a nice horizontal. You got the demand zone, again, coming back left on the charts, always very key to my analysis. Breakout, retest, continuation. There's a lot going on in this area from about 149 to about 153. I think it's a nice area to see a bounce. And then I would anticipate, I know that line went way the F up there, but this is actually just a fib retracement, just pulled in the opposite direction. It's really anticipating the price action. So I do think you could get a potential rejection out of that area there. And that aligns with your area of support as well. So you got two clear bounces out of that zone at about 165. So I think that for me, if I were to take a short-term trade, taking it from the high there up, that's about 7%. I'm okay with that. That's probably worth you taking a flyer on for Nvidia. Let's see what else we got here. We haven't looked at Tesla in a couple days. And there you go. Keeping the structure, man. We were talking about this area right here, this demand zone, bottom of the trend line, or not the bottom, but finding support on this trend line. And it has been off and away, and it's basically just keeping this channel. So this is the area we were looking at. Let me go ahead and take that off. That way you can actually see some of the price action. But I was just looking at the structure. Very, very clear. Higher highs, higher lows, man. It was just stupid, like consistent on the way that the price action was moving, we have worked our way back up to the top of the channel here. So top of the channel, this is not something I would take a long on right now. Honestly, I would wait till we come back down, revisit this area, and let's see what we have. Yeah, we have a very clear horizontal as well as the trend line that's continuing to work its way up. So, you know, our target area kind of moves with it. You have the 200 SMA. This is on the daily. That's the green line right here. 200 SMA intersecting this area as well at about 333. About 334. I think that would be a logical area to see some price action. See a nice little bounce out of that area. What would that look like if we were to continue our way up back at least to current levels? 7% move again. So I'm okay with that. I think that's something you keep an eye on. And again, that's, you know, somewhere in the 330s, low 330s would be a nice little target area for you to look for an entry for Tesla. So there you go. There's your little your TradFi update. I think it's getting towards that time. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to turn it back on over to my homie and see, is there anything else you want to look at on the charts? Or do you just want to say what's up to the people and BS a little bit on the way out?
Yeah, I got one last one for Ondo. Just a quick one.
Oh, Ondo, dude. I had a nice call on that one. But yeah, I'll hand it over to you. Let's see what you're saying. Let's do this.
Nice. Yeah, man. Ondo's was in a nice downtrend throughout Q2, right? Back in July, we started to break out of that downtrend, started to fight the yearly VWAP. Right now, we had a little pump to the upside just recently today, all the way up to this heart line of this uptrend at 106. Still getting hit by that yearly VWAP resistance. We're currently back down at 102. Right? We have not been able to hold this yearly VWAP at all year long. So if we want to see a big blast off for Ondo, we need to get above this yearly VWAP. We have targets all the way up to a gold pocket all the way at 121, where it's inside this block of resistance as well. If we can flip this area and flip 122, our targets for Ondo to the upside are between 132 to 151 with a more larger time frame gold pocket up at 161. And its final target to the upside is a monthly MPLC from back in December at 171. So if we're going to see any big moves, I wouldn't be getting ultra bullish until we can actually flip this 122 and hold this yearly VWAP for multiple days before climbing above 122. Now to the downside, you know, we're still in this uptrend. So even if we come back down to around 92 cents or so, we have a gold pocket down at 81. I don't see us hitting that as of right now, but when we continue hugging the lower band of this uptrend, I do think we're going to flip that 122 and I'm just going to have that blast off moment. That's it.
Right on. Hey, I'm going to pull up just a couple content creators, show them some love real quick because they have been awesome to me. So let's do it. First, we got Trade Intuition, man. He always brings his homies over. All right, so after his shows, he just sends them on over to my show. Hey, man, just want to give you a little shout out. Much love to you, man. Go ahead, check him out, sub. Make sure you do all the fun stuff there. But just want to say thank you. And if you guys are still here, thank you guys for being here. Much appreciated. And then I got to look up my man, BC Pork Corp. I'm going to see, are you listed as BC Pork Corp on here? Let me see. Honestly... This one, he is. There it is. And you got a sub from me, baby. You know it. BC Pork Corp is doing his own channel now. So, hey, go support him. Go get him, man. He's got 83 subs right now. I want to see that change today. Please go sub to BC Pork Corp. He's a good dude. Help him out. Much appreciate it. And with that, we are going to wrap this one up. Dude, thank you very much for coming on. It is much appreciated.
Thank you for having me on,
man. Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to come on over to your show too, man. Make sure we're spreading the love here.
Anytime, dude. Anytime.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome on my channel, dude. Just talk some charts. Maybe next time we get into some more of the end game kind of stuff and see how we see the end of the year coming out here. Since I do think it's either going to be massive blow off top here at the end of this year or just extended cycle into 2026. Is one or the other. It's do or die in the next month.
I think that I don't know, man. I think because of the institutional investment, I don't think it's going to be as harsh, right? I don't think there's going to be like that. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see the same percentage in terms of like pullbacks that we've seen before. But a bear market is a bear market, right? Like you see pullbacks in everything. TradFi 2022, like if you go back and like you look at the charts, like once that thing started pulling back, it almost, there was a parallel between Bitcoin and the NASDAQ. So every time that was going down, Bitcoin was going down. It wasn't until beginning January 2023 that you saw that divergence between the two assets again. And I think you're going to see a little bit of a similar pullback in terms of being in a bear market. But, you know, like everyone, again, we talked about a little bit earlier in the show, the last 2 years, October, November have been bullish. And then December kind of flatlined. A little bit into December, kind of flatlined, right? And you know, there's a little bit of jockeying going there as well because tax situations and stuff. People are kind of, you know, realizing gains or like trying to tax loss harvest. I think there's a little bit of that goes in. I am very, very interested to see though institutional impact when it comes to taxes. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, cause that's, now we're talking big ass money, and companies move that shit around because like they're playing the tax game too, and they're playing it on a whole nother level than us.
Yeah, I mean, look at Q1 in 2025, dude. It was bear market status, right? Bitcoin was down like 36%. Altcoins were down 80-90%. They got smashed. So I do agree with you that with institutions, bear market will be different. Drops won't be as hard for Bitcoin, but altcoins will still get crushed unless they have some type of ETF attached to them. I still think those 90% drops for altcoins is on the books for sure. Yeah, man. I can't argue with you. I gotta be honest. I can't argue with you. That's why I tell people, hey, like find something that's gonna last. Find something that has some utility in the world. Please, for the love of God. Like I know there's mixed feelings when it comes to things like Cardano and Solana and what's better. Everything. Yeah. I'm selling everything. I'm not holding any altcoins into the bear market, bro. They're all going away. I'm out. I don't blame you. I'll be real. I don't blame you at all. I gotta be honest. Yeah, why not? Just buy them back cheaper, man. And that's kind of the thing that you really have to figure out when you're talking about taxes too. Like, because some people are like, hey, I'm just exiting. Like, all right, cool. But like, is it going to pull back 25% at this point? Like, that's kind of like your difference between short term and long term. And that's something you got to think about too. But yeah, man. Cool. Yeah, we will have this discussion. Maybe we'll just have a longer discussion. Maybe we can find a way to wrap FD into it as well, man. Maybe make a panel of 3. I've done that before. It is doable with the software I got, so that would be super cool. He's pretty smart with that stuff as well, so that would be really cool. So cool, man. All right, bro. Well, it is time. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I'll give you the opportunity to say goodbye to everybody. If you want to just double down on where they can find you and all that good stuff, the floor is yours, my friend. Appreciate it, brother. It was a great time being here, man, talking about some charts and just the end game here. I really do believe we're coming towards, a big pivotal moment in time with the altcoins and Bitcoin at the end of this year. But yeah, everybody can find me, Blockchain Crusader on YouTube, Beatchain Crusader on X, because Blockchain Crusader was too long of a handle. And then over on TikTok, Real Bitcoin Crusader. So a little bit different handles everywhere, but that's just the way it has to be. Everything else was taken. So yeah, Real Bitcoin Crusader on TikTok, Beatchain Crusader on X, and then Blockchain Crusader on YouTube and Instagram as well. So guys, that's where I'm at. I appreciate to see everybody over there, and always smash those likes here for our boy TradeFly, putting out some of the best content out here in the game, just straight facts and TA. So smash those likes, guys.
I appreciate it, man. Much love to you. Yeah, dude, I got a weird thing with my handles. Like, so somebody on X, they had TradeFly, and then they got banned. And like, it is like a lifetime ban. This thing has been banned since the time that I was trying to get trade. Like, I go back and check. I'll check like every 6 months and be like, all right, let's see if this dude's been unbanned, because I'm gonna message him immediately and be like, can I get this handle? I will pay you for it. But no joy. He's never been back, so I'm gonna try to hit up X. But they're really tough to give out old handles of previous users. But now that I have an LLC, it is mine. I'm certified. Like this is me. They might bend a little bit. I've read stories, so we'll see, man. I'm hoping. Otherwise, I'll just keep being TradeFly 8. It's my favorite number if you guys don't know. All right. There you go. And no, you can't hack any of my passwords because I'm smart enough not to use my damn favorite number in any of them. All right. Cool. All right. I'm out of here.
Man.
All
Perfect.
right, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Take it easy. For you, the guys, the audience, thank you for being here. Much love. If you enjoyed the show, like, subscribe. Definitely sub to everybody else that I pointed out to you today as well. That would be much, much appreciated. And as always, the slogan here, trade safe, be safe. I'm out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go,